What's up guys, Carlo Macapinlac here from newbiefitnessacademy.com. I help busy professionals look good shirtless so they can feel more confident and get the most out of their lives. And in this video, I'm going to tell you why you're not losing weight on a calorie deficit. And if you stick around until the end of the video, I'm going to give you a proven plan on how to break through your weight loss plateau. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every time I post a new video every week. All right, let's dive in. Okay, if you're not losing weight on a calorie deficit, then you're most likely following the classic calories in versus calories out model, right? And it's built around this idea that if you just eat a little less, aka be on a calorie deficit, and move a little bit more, like exercise, do that over time, and you're gonna lose weight. And almost everyone I know, including their dog, has tried this method of weight loss in some way, shape, or form, right? The problem is, it might work at the beginning, but then it stops working, you hit a plateau, you get frustrated, you blame yourself, and then you quit. Sound familiar? And that's where a lot of people find themselves, right? So the calories in versus calories out model, while technically true, is almost entirely dependent on the calories part, and the calories in makes very little difference. And nobody talks about this part because reducing the calories in, again, being on a calorie deficit, often reduces the calories out. And we just make this false assumption that the calories out stay stable. But it doesn't. Your calories out, also known as your basal metabolic rate, can actually go up or down by as much as 40%. In fact, according to studies done on the Biggest Loser contestants, they just get put on these massive calorie deficits and it works at the beginning. They lose a ton of weight and everyone's happy, right? Problem is, it's not sustainable. Over time, they're still on this massive calorie deficit and their metabolic rate just goes to shit and they stop losing weight even though they're on a calorie deficit. Sound familiar? Why do you think there's never any Biggest Loser reunion? Because most of them have gained back a lot of the weight they've lost. And the reason for that is that there's really only two places that you can get energy from. And this is the thing that a lot of experts out there don't talk about, is that your body actually functions as a two-compartment system. Let me explain. If you look at the energy that your body wants to expend just to keep you alive, keep your brain active, keep your heart pumping, keep your organs functioning, basically your basal metabolic rate. Let's call it BMR for short. Let's say your BMR is 2,000 calories. Well, there's two different places where you can get those 2,000 calories. You can get it from the food that you eat, or you can get it from your fat stores. So the assumption is that if you go on a calorie deficit, let's say 1,500 calories, you eat 1,500 calories worth of food, you'll make up the difference of 500 from your fat stores and your 2,000 calorie BMR will stay stable, and therefore you're gonna lose a pound a week, and you're gonna lose 52 pounds in 1 year, and you're gonna weigh 0 pounds in a couple of years. Of course, if that was true, we'd all be walking around with a six-pack. And this is the weight loss model that we've been led to believe for decades. And almost everybody I know has done a calorie deficit diet, and it's almost never worked for anybody for a sustainable amount of time. Now, going back to the two-compartment model, I want you to think about your body as sort of a railway switch, right? Think of a train having to go through a fork. You can only go one of two directions, right? And this is the most important concept that I want you to take away from this video. You can either take your energy from the foods that you eat, or you can take your energy from your body fat. You can either get it from one or the other, meaning you can't get a little bit from the foods that you eat and get a little bit from your body fat. It doesn't work like that. It's one or the other. And the biggest determinant of this railway switch is the hormone insulin. Whenever you eat a meal, assuming it's a blend of protein, fat, and carbs, your insulin goes up. All you have to remember is that if your insulin goes up, you turn off fat burning. You're in fat storage mode. Now, when you stop eating, your insulin levels go down and you switch from fat storage mode to fat burning mode. If we're being technical here, you're switching from the fed state to the fasted state. You start using some of the stored energy in your body, and that's the reason why you don't die in your sleep every single night. You've probably never thought of it like that before, haven't you? Because as your insulin falls, you switch fuel sources and you get your energy from stored glycogen and body fat. So it's a pretty well-run system, assuming that you keep your fed and your fasted state in balance. And that's what you want. You want to have periods where you elevate your insulin levels to take in the nutrients from the foods that you eat, but then you also want to have periods where insulin levels are low so you can use body fat for energy. The problem is, that's not what happens in today's society, right? 6 meals a day, anyone? Let's talk about that model real quick. So, as you eat constantly throughout the day, you eat snacks if you eat a lot of foods that are highly insulin stimulating, like refined carbs and sugar, and that's the problem. Most go-to snacks out there are highly processed and full of sugar, like granola bars and protein bars, right? So as you keep your insulin levels high from eating all the time and eating refined carbs and sugar, you've switched over to this track where you can only get your energy from the foods that you eat. Remember, you can't burn fat if your insulin levels are high. And again, this is where a lot of people who go on a calorie deficit diet find themselves. They're not losing weight even though they're eating less and they're on this massive calorie deficit. They eat low calorie and low fat foods, which are highly processed. They're hungry because those foods are not satiating, so they snack all the time, and they end up blaming themselves for not losing weight. Let's look at some numbers to paint a better picture here. Let's say you go on a diet where you're on a 1500 calorie deficit, but again, you're snacking all the time and you're eating a lot of refined carbs, highly processed foods, and sugar. If only 1500 calories are coming in, you can only burn 1500 calories. I mentioned this earlier, and that you can't just go on a calorie deficit and expect your body to make up the difference from your fat stores. It sounds like a great idea, but your body doesn't work that way. So your body is forced to ramp down its metabolic rate instead. And this is the problem with the classic calories in versus calories out model. As you start off, for example, with a BMR of 2000 calories and you go on a calorie deficit, your body compensates for this by turning down your metabolic rate to 1500 calories. Then let's say you eat 1700 calories because you're tired of eating so little. Here's the crazy part. Even though you're eating less than you did before, remember, you're only eating 1700 calories now, still lower than the original 2000, but since your metabolism has gone down to 1500 calories, you're gonna start gaining back the weight you've lost. So then you kind of do it again. And this is the definition of yo-yo dieting. You decide that you're gonna go on an even bigger calorie deficit, let's say 1200 calories, which is insanely low. But you're eating constantly, you're eating highly processed, low-fat, low-calorie foods, which are usually loaded with sugar. Well, now your metabolic rate has to go down to 1200. Your body now has to start conserving energy. It has to slow down normal body functions because there's barely any energy coming in. So you start to feel cold because your body isn't generating as much body heat. You feel tired and lethargic. You're hungry all the time and you're not losing weight. Hey, comment below if you've ever found yourself in this situation before. Now, the good news is that the metabolic rate can go up as well. But again, the key determinant of that is insulin because you have to open up those stores of body fat for you to burn. It's not just there for looks. Now, if you're someone who's been struggling with your weight loss efforts for years, you've tried every diet under the sun, you've gone on this calorie deficit diet, you work out every day, but you just can't seem to lose weight, or maybe you're feeling stuck because you've hit a weight loss plateau and you can't seem to get out of it, you feel like life is just passing you by, you're missing out on opportunities, and you realize that it's time to get one-on-one professional help, then feel free to reach out to me. Head on over to my website, newbiefitnessacademy.com/coaching, read through the page and the success stories, and fill out the application form for a free consultation. If I think that we're a good fit, then I'll personally reach out to you directly. Now, if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week. And hey, leave me a comment below if you found this video helpful or if you have any questions about this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the comment section. Virtual high five. I want you to think about your body as sort of a railway. I can't pronounce railway. So it's a pretty roll. Oh my god. But since your metabolism has gone, oh my goodness.